Now, the Secretary of State for Northern Ireland, Chris Heaton-Harris, is due to update us this week on plans for a new Assembly election. And it comes, of course, after the deadline for a new executive to be formed in Northern Ireland passed on Friday. Now, the prospect of actually going to the polls has not been popular with the leader of the DUP, Sir Geoffrey Donaldson. He has urged the UK government, rather than calling a fresh Assembly election, to focus on resolving issues around the EU protocol that is affecting our trade with Northern Ireland. And of course, every day the Stormont stalemate continues means that there is no government in Northern Ireland, which is seriously affecting people's everyday lives. So let's join our GBNews Northern Ireland reporter, Dougie Beattie, for an update.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to a small town outside Belfast called Newtown Ards. Why here? Well, it's your typical market town, and it's here and places like this that the impasse in Stormont will be felt the hardest. 72% of jobs in Northern Ireland are either in or dependent on the public sector. That is an amazing amount of money right there, and it's in places like this that those people are employed. Why so high? Well, after the Good Friday Agreement, Tony Blair at that point very wisely thought that there was a lot of security forces in Northern Ireland, a lot of very highly paid policemen, so they couldn't be taken out of the economic equation straight away. So there was a lot of jobs put into the public sector, a lot of money put in there. But it would have been thought by nearly 25 years on that they would have almost ebbed away and the private sector filled in for that. But there has been that many false starts in Stormont over the last 25 years that they're still there. We have one of the biggest health services in the UK per head of population. We have about 16 hospitals, 9 of them major, and some of the biggest waiting lists in the UK. So, with no Stormont in place, we have to look at the benefits of devolved government. Well, most economists will tell you devolved governments don't have any real growth in economies, but what is the good part about that, of course, is that you have local representatives spending local money exactly where it should be. Now, Chris Heaton-Harris will have to take charge of those big ticket items such as education, health and security. But just over my shoulder here is the Town Hall in Newtown Ards. Those councils may be asked to link up with those other departments inside Stormont to start putting that money out into the community once more, because when devolution has been in place for so long and direct rule hasn't been here, the Northern Ireland office, those civil servants that were once under the Secretary of State, are no longer there. The infrastructure's not there anymore. Do we think there will be an election any day soon? I would doubt it. It is being mooted 15th of December. But if Chris Heaton-Harris decides to go to the polls without sorting out the protocol first, he is going to end up with two parties coming back, Sinn Féin and the DUP, as the two largest parties. It matters not which one of them is the largest party, because under the Good Friday Agreement, one cannot exist without the other. So you have a First Minister and a Deputy First Minister, and of course they're exactly the same office. If one doesn't sit, the other one's not with it. That happened in 2017. Sinn Féin didn't sit in Northern Ireland for 1,044 days, and when they came back, the pandemic had hit within a matter of weeks, and our health service, it could be argued, was not slick enough or lean enough to deal with what was coming at them. So rather than try to fix what is there, he may decide to put these other points out into the local councils, and that may cure a problem for places like this and keep employment going here and keep the people of Northern Ireland happy while the politicians sort out the mess that is.
You are so right, Dougie. It is a complete and utter mess, isn't it? As soon as they sort out that